Folks, one of our crew just showed up, Mr. Brandon. Brandon, I tell you what, it's early morning out here, Sapphire Bay, the sun is coming up. Are we going to catch crappie?
We're going to catch a bunch of crappie.
Well, folks, it's time to do a little summertime cooking. Let's make us some guisado. What do you say?
All right, get her back in the water.
Welcome to A Sportsman's Life. We're so glad you tuned in to join us for another exciting real-world outdoor adventure right here on A Sportsman's Life.
Well, good morning, folks, and where I'm at, it is morning. I am out at beautiful Lake Ray Hubbard, Sapphire Bay Marina. The sun is, we're looking east and the sun is about to come up. I am about to meet my buddy, Brandon Sargent, led Slingers Guide Service, and Mike, the manager of this big, beautiful marina. Look at all this. Boat slips for as far as you can see. This is a deep water marina here on Lake Ray Hubbard. We're going to go out and do some crappie fishing. Mike and Brandon will join us in just a bit. We're just east of Dallas, about 30 minutes. That's I-30 right over there. We're going to be going out fishing back kind of to the southeast back out here. So stay with us, folks. We're going to have some fun today. Folks, one of our crew just showed up, Mr. Brandon. Brandon, I tell you what, it's early morning out here, Sapphire Bay. The sun is coming up. Are we going to catch crappie?
We're going to catch a bunch of crappie.
There's going to be you got a spot picked out that you've been fishing. Well, Mike, the manager of Sapphire Bay, is going to be with us just a little bit. He's en route out here, so we'll get all loaded up. Folks, look what Brandon's got to carry his stuff out to the boat. How handy is this? That's a thinking man's wagon right there. Okay, we'll get ready to meet old Mike and we'll go catch some. What do you say?
Let's do it.
And sure enough, folks, Mr. Mike Hall and my buddy Brandon Sargent, led Slingers Guide Service, showed up. You got a little early morning look at the marina. Mike, you're the manager of the marina,
yes,
right?
Sir. Yes, sir.
Yep. And how many boat slips are out here? 1,000, I bet.
Yeah, there's over 1,000 boat slips here at Sapphire Bay.
Wow. Well, on to what we really want to talk about, and that's catching crappie. So, Brandon, we don't have to go across the way over there is a spot that you know where there are some crappie, right?
Big boys.
Let's go get some. Mike, mention the marina and how folks can find you online, if you would, please.
Yeah, we're at sapphirebaymarina.com right here in Rowlett, Texas on Lake Ray Hubbard.
Right, and folks listening from all over, Ray Hubbard is 40 minutes east of Dallas, right on I-30. You might be able to hear the trucks rolling over there on I-30. Well, guys, let's go get them. It's early morning. We ought to be there just the right time. What do you think, Brandon?
Let's go get them. Let's do it.
Brandon, this is the hot spot, right?
Yes, sir.
This is the spot. First time that I fished with Brandon, we were right here.
Slap daddy.
Look at this graph, folks.
Oh, well, we're moving away, but there it is right over there.
Yeah. Well, I guess it's about time to think about getting a minnow down. Mike, what do you think?
Let's do it.
You ready to get some minnows in the water?
I'm ready to catch some crappie.
Mike, I think this is what they call a banker's holiday.
Yeah.
You know, even the manager of a big marina has to have a little time off. And from the looks of it here on that screen, I expect the action to break loose pretty quick. Brandon, it's hard to beat a live minnow, right?
Very hard to
I mean, that's what they eat, you know? So they're hanging, as the graph shows, right on top of that tree.
Right in that pile. Probably. Yep, there he goes right there.
Live scope is a game changer.
Oh, you just took it. Missed him.
Got him.
Oh, little guy.
No, that's a nice one. Let's take a look at him. We've been here all of 30 seconds. That is a pretty crappie, Brandon. One of many to come. That's what I call the eye of the hurricane, Brandon. Oh, you big! Got another one to get.
Oh, I thought he stole it.
Brandon, what you're doing is trying to keep the minnows right up on top, right?
Yes, sir. That's the key. Just keeping the minnow right on top. See him coming, that big boy?
Yep.
Such a science test. There you go, little guy.
Right on top of the pile of fish, wasn't he, Brandon?
Right on top of the pile of fish.
Mike, you just had a hit, and I saw that it started to twitch the end of that rod, but get back down there and get Brandon, that live scope is lit up like a Christmas tree, buddy.
Yes, it is.
Looks like you found a hit.
I got one.
You got it? Oh, it's a good one right there, man.
A lot better.
Yeah, let's take a look at him. That is a beautiful fish right there. And gonna make 2 good fillets too, right?
Really good fillets.
All right, I'll tell you what, Brandon. Now, I hate to brag, you know that. I just hate to brag on fishing, but I did catch this fish. Folks, we're out here having a ball. We've got Brandon here putting us on these big old crappies. This is probably the biggest crappies I've caught in a while, though, buddy. Let's get some more of these. What do you say?
Let's go get some.
Brought to you by Dallas Safari Club, Conservation, Education, and Hunter Advocacy. Hornaday, accurate, deadly, dependable. Taurus Firearms, maker of the Raging Hunter. Trigicon, brilliant aiming solutions.
Well, folks, we are about to smoke some fresh, very fresh wild pork, a pork loin from a hog I shot here by the house. This hog probably weighed about 100 pounds, but it's a little loin I've cleaned up, backstrap if you will. And we're going to put it in the Smoking Texas electric smoker. And we're going to smoke it with pecan wood. I've got our smoke box down here loaded with, not loaded, but probably 4 ounces of pecan wood. We're going to put it on this middle rack, let it smoke, and then we're going to proceed to make some very, very tasty pork guisado. So here we go. So folks, here is our smoked backstrap or pork loin. It's been in the smoker a couple of hours. It's not tender at all by any means, but we're going to chop this up and put it in the skillet with all the ingredients for some guisado. So the old Smoking Texas has done it again while I was out gallivanting around. It put a good smoked flavor to the loin. A key to some good guisado. Well, folks, it's time to do a little summertime cooking. Let's make us some guisado. What do you say? Now, I'm going to give you a close-up of all the ingredients, but this is basically a wild pork loin that I've smoked in my Smoking Texas electric smoker. All the vegetables are here. Occasionally, I just get in the mood for some really good Mexican food, and sometimes I'm the only one that can cook it the way I want it. Basic ingredients, so I'm going to give you a close-up here. I've already smoked the pork loin. I'm going to chop it up, put it in the skillet with some onion and all these vegetables. But let's get to cooking. I think this is something that you can vary the recipe to your liking. There's no real givens. As long as you have garlic and cumin and onions and peppers and tomatoes, you can't go wrong. So let me give you a close-up of what we're actually cooking. So we got our big old cast iron skillet in the back. We definitely have some ground cumin, gotta have that, some cayenne pepper right here, and we've got a little bit of the garlic powder, maybe a lot of the garlic powder. But we're going to combine all this, chop this pork up. It's smoked, but it's nowhere near tender. and get to cooking. These are actually poblano peppers. You can use jalapenos, whatever you like. This is a really, really, really good Mexican dish that anybody can make, just takes a little time. Folks, the aroma coming off of this is already smelling very good. But we're going to saute this down and cook it into a paste, more or less. And then we're going to probably have to add a little bit of moisture. The key is not to let it stick on the bottom. But I can smell that smoked pork putting forth quite a fragrance. So let's let her cook a bit, and then I'll show you the paste for these. Actually, what it's going to look more like guisado to you here in just probably about 10 or 15 minutes. Then we're going to put a lid on it and let it get that meat really, really tender. So here we go. Well, friends, it's beginning to look like guisado, but it's not nearly there yet. We're going to put a lid on this old cast iron skillet. Put a little more moisture in there because that meat needs to tenderize, and we're going to let it cook for probably, stirring occasionally, we're probably going to let it cook for another 45 minutes. So let me grab the lid here in a bit, and we will let it cook real slow. You can see all the ingredients in here though, but it needs to really cook down, and then at the end we'll reduce almost all of this moisture out so we can put it on a flour tortilla. Okay, friends, we are now in the final process of making our guisado. We're reducing it down, getting that extra liquid out of there. Now, if you wanted a soup right now, I'm going to tell you what, you could put some potatoes and carrots in this and some celery, maybe add a little more liquid, and you would have one awesome soup. To be honest with you, I've already sampled this as a little side dish of soup. But the plan is we're going to let it cook without a lid for probably another 15 minutes and reduce this liquid right here. We want that out of there. And we're going to put this on some flour tortillas, and that will be dinner. Hope you enjoyed our little guisado recipe, folks. Pretty simple, isn't it? And friends, here is our guisado cooked down very thick. Now, I like a little cilantro on my guisado, and some folks that eat my guisado do not, so I put the cilantro on fresh. Here is a taco that is fit for a king, folks, made from guisado. So, one other tip. If you look real close at this tortilla, it is cooked and it's kind of crispy. It's been cooked down in a skillet, you know, heated up on both sides in a skillet. Do not ever, ever microwave a tortilla. It's just too doughy. But if you want a real honest to goodness tasty taco, try making you some with this guisado. Very, very tasty, folks.
A Sportsman's Life is also brought to you by Air Force Air Guns, AGM Global Vision, H3 Whitetail Solutions, Pyramid Air, Gear the Hunt, and Horizon Smokers.
Something I've come up with over the years, guys, is I call it the pinch and pull method. These fish have a lateral line, a red stripe in them. And most people tell you to butterfly it right here and cut it and pull it out. I've noticed as long as the fillet is cold, you can actually pinch and pull and just take that red meat right out. And you can do it just to multiple fillets, just one after a time. Pull, pinch, pull, get that thing out right there. As long as you leave all the red on the skin. It also works good on the white bass as well, as long as you lift that knife.
Conservation Today is brought to you by Hayden Outdoors Real Estate, the brand that sells the land. Visit HaydenOutdoors.com to find or sell your farm, ranch, or recreational property.
You know, one of the most important things, probably of all things to consider, other than the wildlife that you're hunting on a property you're going to buy, is the water situation. In Texas, if you don't have a well, there's some aquifers that may not allow you to drill a new well, or they may limit it to the water being used strictly for the household. So you can't maybe count on that for your wildlife. And in Colorado, New Mexico, some of the other western states, the water rights, my granddad always told me, whiskey's for drinking, water's for fighting over. And there's a lot of truth to that. So make sure if you buy a piece of property, if they say it's got water rights, it's usually deeded, and make sure they can show you that paperwork that you have access to that water, because I've got a property listed in Colorado right now, 1,700 acres, got a beautiful canal running through the middle of it all summer long. Their cows can drink out of it, obviously the deer and elk and bears can drink out of it, but they have no right to pump anything out of that ditch. Or just down country, there's beautiful hay fields. They've actually got that water deeded to those pieces of land. So very important. You need water to have wildlife, and make sure that the property you're looking at either has springs, catchment ponds that'll hold all year, even in a dry season, wells that they can pump water to the wildlife, or deeded water rights out in the west.
Before we wrap up this week's show, let's check in with my brother Rick as he fishes northern Wisconsin for the mighty muskellunge, the fish of 10,000 casts.
Can you caught yours, you were right out in kind of the middle? Yeah, pretty much where the bolt was. It was a cast of kind of between, I think there's a cast. Nice fish. Yeah, you want to flip your... Heck yeah, the mojo. How's it look? Yeah, it's still 40. Did you go 40? Probably pretty dang close, doesn't it? Hold her sideways. Alright, get her back in the water. Alright. Can we just bump it real quick? Sure. Okay. Then we'll get her going. Okay, this won't take long, buddy. 43. Alright. That's my PR. Here we go. Yeah, alright. Woo! Thank you so much. Yeah, flying 5.
Folks, I hope you enjoyed the show. That wraps it up for this week. Thanks so much for watching, and thanks to our sponsors, Gearhead Archery, Snaplock Hunting Blinds, Smokin' Tex Electric Smokers, TRHP Outdoors, and Ultramatic Feeders. Make sure and tune in next week for some more real-world outdoors.